All right, folks, we got about 20 people here today. Team Jo Jo. We're talking about a knife sharpener and the electric knife to clean fish.
What can I say?
Well, these blades that you get,
Just one here.
it's in the, I think it's a black and deck, I don't know, it's a little whipsaw, handsaw, or it's in it.
Yeah.
Man, it goes through redfish like butter. I couldn't believe it.
And I do make a straight edge sharpener, like that. But that's what I'm always using. I mean, that's what we
This
do in
is
the
pretty
kitchen.
simple. You kind of just hold it like that up against the thing and then just pull it. I mean, it doesn't take much, I'm telling you.
You also push it.
Just watch your hand, Bo.
One corner. You push and pull?
No, you just pull it, just pull it.
Yeah.
And, you know,
The
if
lures.
it's surrogate, I think you do it straight, perpendicular, and the other way with straight knife, you do it this way.
This
It's
is the
directions
lures
on
that
the
Big
back.
Charlie's presenting to people.
It works really good.
Gonna try it.
It's pretty simple.
That's one I don't have. I got
Disabled veterans, they can check with the causeway and get across free. No, I've been doing it for years. You get a card and you don't pay. And you can get a second card, like a travel card, you put it in your wallet. But with it up to $6 now, even one way. Yeah, nice to work at Harris.
All right, folks, the question was, is there a place to slide out that you can rent a space to stay overnight where you can keep your boat in the water? So if anybody has any suggestions on that, I'd appreciate posting it.
That's almost an ice fishing pole.
Oh, I can't.
Like, you had a bell on it or whatever. Maybe bounce it off. I've lived in Louisiana longer, like 40 years. But with all the fishing, and fishing with Stanley, fishing with you, doing the lake patrol. Stanley always doing that, you doing that, and I'd be like, okay, it's time to do it. And finally, you go, you gotta get a rhythm. Now this may be obvious to everybody, you may not even know you're doing it, and made up a little saving of saying, you know, boom, boom, choo, boom, boom, choo. So mine was saved with touch, save the touch, save the touch. Do whatever, that's it, that was the thing around here. And he's got some I won't repeat, even though there's no women here, that he uses. But just that alone, and I know the fish are out there almost jumping in the boat, but in the last 3 times we've been out, it's significant, for me, improvement. Because if you've ever listened to our stories, we didn't have stories. You know, it was, okay, we caught 1, we caught 2. So just that little thing that Hugh got from you, and he passed on to me, changed my fishing at least to a point. So, stuff that you grew up with or know doesn't mean everyone else knows it, right? Tiny little technique things is what goes on at these meetings. And you share and people talk, get a little through. So another thing that makes this all good.
I think it was the intercoastal. Is that kind of when the water gets a little colder in that area?
No, the reason I was fish the floodgate is I'm looking for movement, water movement, and that's the first place it's going to move on the floodgate. The slack tide will move first at the floodgate, and I'm just looking for moving water, so I'm fishing the floodgate. I haven't fished that.
Hey, Stanley,
Y'all ready to
we're
order?
gonna order.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, good.
We go to the floodgates, we go to fish the ICW, or we want to fish the wall. I don't really fish the floodgates anymore, too many hang-ups.
Yeah. Where's the wall at, Stanley?
Wall's out of Body Avenue. That's the best place to get to it. Just go straight out of Body Avenue. When you come out the block, look to your right, that's the wall. And we'll show you on the map how to do all that.
It's part of the levee.
It's on the intercoastal.
It's on the ICW. Just to go. Any other questions? Any guys want to know anything? Want to tell us anything? Anybody had any good trips lately? Nothing, not fishing Lake Pontchartrain and trust me, man. You waste, it's really, you can't get fish out there, shame over.
You gotta pick up on the door.
Me even Ron's boy fish there.
60
Go to the refrigerator, let the
Four
filter
blisters
and
in the big bag.
You go down to the guy that sells the pink-eyed lesbian shrimp.
Anybody got any questions they want to add to the table? Maybe tell you what.
That one, my dad finally had some success strolling with your rig on the new twin spade.
Okay.
A little bit of success. We didn't nail it, but
Where you trolling? What type of boat are you trolling on?
it's just an intro boat, 18-foot flats boat.
People don't believe that little 14-foot flat.
Yeah.
It's called horsepower. This gentleman copied it. He went for all the little flat boat, built a little thing, put a 25 horsepower motor on it. He's out there tearing them up. Tearing them up. So I learned that the flat boat can speed 1.2 to 1.3 miles an hour.
Yeah, I was doing that with my trolling motor. I was able to dial
I'm betting people control low.
Yeah.
Can't make it
I
happen.
can't sit them like you were catching, that's for sure.
Get that little flat boat. You see the guys in the skiff out there. That's the ones you want to watch. You watch the guys in the skiff. And when the guy's trolling, and all of a sudden he turns around, he runs back like that, and does it again, he's probably right there. He just rolled up the same spot. After Rudy put about 20 trout in, you took your split shot off. So sometimes it works, and sometimes it don't. Any other questions?
Yes, Dan, when's the big trout move on the lake and then start heading for deeper water?
I'm not an authority on that. I'd say you got about maybe 4 or 5 weeks at the most. To where they are now, where they're doing lighting. If the real fisherman is about 5 weeks, he goes out there and catches fish, that's the deal. Yeah, Mike.
I got a question for Ron. Let's see if it, now everything. What is the significance, what goes on with the flounder when they pick that flounder season? Obviously, they didn't just pick that out of their ass.
Well,
Because,
that's supposed to be during the maintenance.
because everybody's got stories of how many fish they caught 10, 15 days before the end of the season in Louisiana, Vietnam, flounder no-no season. And then the day after, nobody's catching any flounder. It sounds like. That's the mating season. We got one. Our Louisiana new second year is October 15th through November 30th. No flounder. People we're catching them 10 go out and catch 10. December 1st,
That's like deer season.
freaking disappear. Well, it's new. Very.
It's a mating season, they probably a little more aggressive. And that's why if they stop you from fishing, that's when you want them to get
I don't think Louisiana had a
Delacroix.
Delacroix.
I was so excited and I it was so painful to take
I'm retired, I can be particular. Before that, when I'm working, weather conditions didn't make any difference.
I don't know.
I could see there's some
So you're not, it's people with 47, 91 hours. Finally got the trout. One fish was enough. It's all about the
bigger body of water, if you like fresh water in there, just keeps it a little bit right off in the That's not a second big one. I couldn't even get this everything because it's all broken. Literally.
All right, anybody want to make a trip, put your name and number on the second sheet? We'll get you on the list. You want to make a fishing trip? That's it. Anybody else got anything else you want to say? Enjoy your conversation. You're going to get on the map in a minute. Show you map of Delacroix or wherever you want to fish that big ball lake catfish. So I think you'll have to fish. Yeah, you're going to go.
Take it, take some things away from that, but what he's keying on is sight fishing. You know, so he's talking about sight fishing. Of course, when you're sight fishing, you know, the low tide, the fish are consolidated and all of that. So keep that in mind as you listen to it, but you can apply this to more than just that. You can apply it to any kind of fishing you're doing. But he's more talking about the actual sight fishing itself and redfish, you know.
He's talking about being more applicable to the coastal
Yeah.
areas, not, because he's gonna talk about Australia and some other spots, but he's referring to the coastal areas.
So you're gonna be able to catch a number of redfish on that lowest part of the tide. Now, as popular as that part of the tide is, this middle third is absolutely the best part of the tide for horizontal flow. What I mean is the current going back and forth, moving bait. So when you're using minnow patterns and things like that, here you might have been using crustacean patterns on the low, but here, minnow patterns are going to work really well with this horizontal flow. And fish like snook and trout respond well in the middle third of the tide because they're sight feeders. So they're looking to strike.